Hey, what's up guys? When you're making a low resolution game, like a pixel art platform or a PS1 art style game, one issue you're going to run into is GUI scaling. Since we're rendering the game at low resolution, we also render our GUI at low resolution. Now, this causes some problems with fonts, for example. They get scaled down way too much. As you can see, this is a 1080p font and this is a scaled down in the same resolution as this scene here is. So one way you can get around this with fonts is by just using a smaller font. Let's say we use an 8x8 font, and you'd also have to set the font shading to unshaded. That works. Now we have an 8x8 font. The thing is, 8x8 is very limited. There's not many art styles and whatever we can do to it. And also that doesn't include buttons or images or other UI elements you want to add. So how do we get around this? Well, the first thing we need to do is go into project settings and set our viewport to the actual high resolution that we want. So I'm just doing 1080p here. You can do whatever resolution you want. Just keep in mind the low resolution and high resolution viewport need to be in a ratio with whole numbers. So 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, etc. Now that we've done that, just make sure that your main scene has a camera 3D. It doesn't matter if your main scene has a child, which is a player node, and then that player node has a child, which is a camera 3D, as long as there is an active working camera 3D inside your main scene. Next, create a new 2D scene with a node 2D as the root node, which is the default. Add a subviewport container and a subviewport as a child of that. Next, we need to instance our main scene as a child of the subviewport. And if we click on 2D, we can now see that our sub viewport is rendering our camera 3D in 2D. But obviously this is not the full high resolution that we want. So what you need to do is go to your sub viewport container, layout and custom minimum content. You need to change this to your high resolution. So we did 1080, so set that there. But obviously it hasn't actually stretched it, so we need to turn stretch on. Now, if you look at this, it's not actually low resolution, it's still 1080p. That's because we haven't set stretch shrink on. So if we just set that to the ratio of the low resolution to high resolution, so this was 4 for this scene. Obviously, you'd set that to whatever ratio you did. And let me just add in a 1080p text, just so you can kind of visualize it. And we play this. You can now see we've got 1080p resolution text on our low resolution scene. Okay, now do you notice any problems with this? If you said pixel blurring from filtering, you'd be correct. For some reason, Godot always uses filtering when scaling up viewports. There's no way to change this. Even if you change the viewport render settings, you can kind of negate it a little bit, but you can't get pixel perfect scaling. So how do we get around this final problem? So back in our 2D scene, the way we're actually going to do this is by adding a custom shader to our subviewport container, which scales each pixel by 4x exactly. No filtering, completely done by our shader. So go into your subviewport container, material, new shader material, and create a new shader. I already have made mine, so I'm just going to load one. And this is the shader code if anybody's wondering. It will be in the description. I might make a GitHub project with an example. I'll probably just leave it as raw text in the description. So yeah, copy and paste this from the description. And also make sure to change 4 to whatever the ratio you're using. So if you're using 1 to 6, change 4 to 6. Again, use whole numbers. And yeah. So as we can see, it's actually scaled up, already 4x scaled by another 4x here. So we just need to go back to our stretch shrink and turn that back to 1. Okay, now it's only applying our custom shader with the pixel perfect 4x scaling. If I just play this scene, there you can see it. So now that is how you get high resolution GUI in a low resolution game in Godot with pixel perfect scaling. Like, subscribe. I hope this helped you guys. Have a good one. Oh yeah, one more little thing I forgot to mention is you need to go into your subviewport's properties and enable it as a either 3D or 2D audio listener if you want audio.